everybody. Happy Easter. This is the bonus video because I feel guilty I haven't done a lot of videos, but I'm speaking a little bit quietly because I have not talked with my parents about this. So out of respect for them, I'm not going to show too terribly much, but I am in my childhood home. It was built in 1903 here in Corsicana, which is about 15 miles away. It's a slightly larger town. It's actually across the street from one of our phenomenal schools. It was originally built as Drain High School and named after a prominent guy in our town, obviously. And it has gone through a couple of different names, but amazing building. If you ever get the chance to tour it, it is a beast. It's an amazing piece of architecture. It really speaks to the craftsmanship and the resources that were available. Amazing building. Anyways, obviously for that reason, this house is actually older than the school. It was built by a lawyer, William W. Blue, and he was a people's attorney here in Corsicana. But we've always had this library. As a child, I loved to kind of come and pick at books and read interesting things. One of the sets of books that I really like to look at are down here. My parents had a nursery and greenhouse business when I was a little girl, and so they have all these really neat exotic plant books and things about gardening. But about from here up, these are all attached to the Talley House. The majority of these books actually were originally belonging to the Talleys. And what is really neat and fascinating is some of these books you can actually open them up and see that they have written notes to each other. A lot of times these books, remember back then, books were incredibly expensive. And so they were given as gifts. They were given on special occasions. And so it's just really neat to see these people come to life and know a little bit more about them and what they valued. Certainly education was a big thing. The Talleys were some of the first presidents of the Parent-Teacher Association in Kerens. Mr. Talley, I believe, was either on the school board or a principal at one time, just very involved in education. They also helped to found the original Kerens Library, and I feel like a number of these books might have actually come from there at some point. But they were all left in the house when my grandparents moved in. And so when my grandparents sold the house, my mom was not happy about that. But when they did, the books left with them along with a couple of other things. And I'm so grateful for that because I don't know that they would have been kept and valued throughout the rest of the life of the house, which, as you can see, I mean, we're missing windows and doors and, practically anything that one lady could get her hands on. So phenomenal that these books still survived and they exist. So another thing that I think is really neat is the types of works that they are. There's a lot of history, there's a lot of science. These were very well-read, educated people. There's, the history of John Adams and the American Revolution. Up here we've got an entire work of, it's a set called The Making of America. English history, textbook prose. There's kind of a Western theme here for some Western history. Classics, there's Latin, and then there's Greek classics. And Tyndall's science books. What else? Homer's Iliad, The Last of the Mohicans, Arabian Nights. I'm just trying to name some things that you might recognize. Anyways, it's just a ton of, first of all, they're absolutely gorgeous books. We just don't see these types of things today. And then to know that they are tied to the Talley House, and the Talleys once held each one of these books and read them probably cover to cover, which is really cool. So the plan is that they actually will come back to the Talley home. But a couple of things I want to do before that. I want to find a conservator and speak with them about a lot of things, but kind of the best steps. I want to have a really good plan for how to care for the books in their state. They're certainly, a lot of them have copyright dates of the 1880s, so they're well over 100 years old at this point. And so I just want to treat them with as much respect and dignity as possible and try and conserve them as long as I can. That being said, I want to also get the home ready for them for whatever those requirements are. And certainly I've worked with a lot of archives. That was, part of my college training was to, work with a lot of archival documents and everything. So I have some ideas, but I just want to make sure that we're making all the right choices. So there's definitely that involved. And then they will start to come home. If anybody's interested, I don't know if anybody would find that interesting or not, but I could consider going through and maybe going through a book or so a week and maybe reading to you what the Talley family wrote to each other and kind of the inside covers, and give a little summary of what some of these books are. What's really neat is that, a lot of the books that we read today in school, with the exception of maybe Dickens or one of those, a lot of those books weren't even written yet. So, for example, To Kill a Mockingbird, a lot of us have read that book, wasn't even written yet. So really cool to think about. They were educating themselves well before what we would study today, which is really neat. And then to see other things that we do still read and enjoy. I just love all of the artwork. So cool. So cool. Anyways, just wanted to share that with you kind of as a bonus. And again, I apologize for being so quiet, but I just want to be respectful and kind of keep this limited so that I'm not sharing too much of my parents' personal life and information. But you take care, have a really great rest of your holiday, and be safe and healthy, and we will talk soon.